Goshen, a professional astrologer, and in this video I would like to talk about Saturn. Saturn always gets a bad rap, and in my book Saturn is super helpful, super important, and Saturn is a spiritual planet, as all the planets are. We contain all their energies within us. And many people struggle with Saturn because they are searching for a deep sense of personal responsibility. One of the traditional significators of Saturn is that it is standing for the father in the chart. And there are so many people in this world who do not have gentle and authoritative guidance from their father or father figure. For so many people, the father is absent, the father is an alcoholic, the father is a workaholic, or the father is brutal or violent, or the father is disinterested. So how does one grow up with a healthy sense of authority and responsibility in your life if you don't see it modeled through the father? And by looking at Saturn in our own charts, we can begin to understand a little bit about that father image and how things were for us and what are the karmic lessons that we've come here to learn about our own authority. And the wonderful thing about Saturn is that you have time to learn these lessons. Saturn acts as a timer in our charts. It has an approximately 28 or 29 year cycle. And every time it goes through each 7-year cycle and eventually comes to make one full circle at the age of 28, for some of us 29, we are going to have an opportunity to experience what it means to step up and take on responsibility. So around age 7, 14, 21, and 28. And then of course going on through the life until you come to your second Saturn return at age approximately 58. What are those cycles about? They are here to teach us that these are times in our life where we need to take on more responsibility. It's being asked of us. And the only time that a Saturn transit is a problem is when we try to push away that responsibility. We try to avoid it. We turn away. And our Saturn-Jupiter polarity is out of balance. We only want to have fun. We don't want to step up and put on the mantle of power, of responsibility, but we rather would prefer to just laze around or to have a good time. And what happens to everyone when we go through that Saturn return before we reach 30 years old is that we are asked to adjust our path. So if things are a little rough moving up to the Saturn return, this is because the spiritual nature of Saturn is encouraging you to re-examine your life and to see where you need to take responsibility, to mature and to grow in wisdom. And when you move towards that and you actually accept the limitations and the structures of your life, this is when a Saturn transit becomes very, very powerful and begins to guide you toward your own spiritual path and your own destiny. And every 7 years we are given that opportunity. Do we need to take more responsibility within the family? Do we need to take more responsibility at work? Do we need to take more responsibility for our own reactions and habits? Or is it our talents that we need to nurture and give structure to and discipline ourselves so that we can achieve something in this life. And through that achievement, we can begin to help others, whether it's our family or whether it's through our work. So Saturn traditionally is about wisdom, and that is why it represents aging, and it represents bones and teeth, those things which tend to grow old and demonstrate just how time is passing. And I invite you to think about those 28 years. How does it fit into the 28 and a quarter or so days that the moon takes to move around in one cycle? There's a correlation there. The moon is about young people. It moves fast. It's about children and our bodies that are growing so quickly when we're young. Saturn is about maturing, wisdom, older people. How is the timing of our life synchronized so that when we take that movement of the moon and that movement of the Saturn, we begin to have a deeper understanding of just how brief human life is, and also of how everything is connected to the cycles of the planets, including our hormonal cycle, our maturation cycle, and our aging cycle. So by the time you come to your second, and hopefully you also have a third Saturn return, you are meant to have grown in wisdom, to internalize a sense of responsibility, which you may not have got from your parents, and you may have had to earn that for yourself. But with Saturn, no one can take away that inner sense of responsibility from you. You have to learn how to structure and step up to your own life. No one should blame planetary cycles for what is happening to them. The energy of Saturn is always available to fuel your ambition and to take you to a higher level in life. Don't turn away from it. Step up and meet the challenge, and Saturn will meet you where you are. Wishing everybody well, and I will see you next time. And please post your comments below. I love and read each and every one of them.